Good morning, YouTube, and welcome to another week in the life of running our dealership.
So are you recording all of the nefarious activities?
For you channel, my name is Dan, and this is NG Supercars, our dealership, and we're going to bring you along for another week as we do whatever we need to do to keep this business running. As of today, we have quite the collection of 360s. We've got four 360s in the shop right now. Not all of them are for sale. That one is my friend Scott's. It's here because it has a leaking rear main seal. We just got in that one. I already have some people interested in it. We'll see if it's sold by the time that this video comes out. I'm gonna say most likely because it's a super clean car. It's just in phenomenal condition. We've got our Project Barn Find. Yeah, this poor thing sat for about 7 years and it needs basically everything. We're gonna have to go through this whole thing. We're debating just pulling the engine because it needs so much stuff. And over here we've got the yellow 360, which I'm wrapping up the major service on it. So we should have this running in the next few days. I'm just waiting for the intake manifold to come back from getting repainted, and we need to finish repainting the disc radiator. Once we get those things done, it's basically done. Over there we've got a Ferrari F430 that just came in. That car is, well, basically already sold. We're having one hell of a time trying to find good 430 coupes. Everyone keeps asking, I want a red 430 coupe, and it's just hard to find them. Back there, I forgot to point out, there is a 48 up in the air. That car, we pulled the turbos, sent them out to Pure Turbos, and they're being rebuilt. Once we get those back, we should have that car back together, and then it can go to its new owner and kick a bunch of ass. Let me tell you, that car is going to be badass. I am super excited to see that car on the road. We also have the Testarossa. It needs a major. We're still trying to decide if we sell it without doing the major or just do the major. And then there's the 458 in the corner, which is just still waiting on parts. Should have those pretty soon. Got the Toyota Land Cruiser Prado. We're trying to send that to Cars and Bids, so it might be gone fairly soon. I don't know, you might see it on Cars and Bids, so we'll talk about that. Over here, we've got a customer's car that was converted. It developed an oil leak. We're just waiting on the part to get it done. Should be hopefully this week, but maybe early next week is my guess. Also, they sent a few more parts we're gonna throw in real quick. Over there, Josh's 355. We're gonna be pulling the engine, doing an engine out major, so stay tuned for that in a different video. I'm sure you guys will like that. And my first Ferrari, my old 430, is back, and we need to do a bunch of stuff to this, so we'll be showing that as we wrench on it in the next few days. We're waiting for some parts and stuff, and we should be underway on that car very soon. But otherwise, I'm just editing videos today, and it's going to be a long day because I have a lot of videos to edit. Josh just went out and flew out for a consultation deal. We had a deal to basically do a pass-through where we buy a car and immediately sell it to someone because we don't like doing finder services. So like if you say, oh, can you find me a blah, blah, blah car with a specific spec? We don't really actively go out and seek them because honestly, it's almost impossible. It just depends. If you want a very generic spec, like if you say, oh, I want a red tan Ferrari 458, I'd be like, yeah, we can probably find you one. Now, if you say, I want a red tan 458 with 3,000 miles or less, and it has to have this option, this option, this option, this option, and oh, and I want it to be under $200,000, we're gonna be like, yeah, bro, I want that car too. I want 10 of them. But in a very rare situation, we had someone say, hey, I'm looking for this car. If you happen to stumble across one, let me know. 6 months go by, and someone reaches out and says, hey, I'm looking to sell a car, and it was very, very, very close to the spec that they wanted. So we said, oh, we don't actually want that car, but we think we have someone who might want that car because they wanted to sell it at a price that basically we can't make a bunch of money. But if we can buy it and sell it on the same day effectively, then we don't really care because, well, even if we make a tiny bit of money, we're still making a little bit of money. We're happy. That's basically what happened. Josh flew out, looked at the car, and we had a pass through. So that's a cool deal. We like that. We get two happy people, plus we make a little bit of money. Everyone wins. That's the kind of stuff that's really cool. We enjoy that a lot. I am flying out to go look at another car, but not for 2 weeks because that car is getting some service done to it first. That won't be in this video. It might not even be the next video. It'll be in the video after that. But next week, we have to wrap up a few things because we are both, Josh and I, going to the Tail of the Dragon. Good Lord.
Oh, man. Oh, that's awesome. Oh.
So we're gonna be out there for a full week. So we gotta kind of wrap up and make sure everything is ready to go at the shop before we go, which means I need to do some service on my GT40 because that's what I'm planning to take to the Dragon. So that picture was taken on the Dragon. It's my favorite picture I've ever had of any car I've ever owned. I need to change the oil. I want to make sure that that thing doesn't have any leaks or anything. Give it a once over before we go and play with it for a week. That will be next week. Probably, I'm guessing, like Wednesday or Thursday or some day soon. And then we also got a deal. We actually just bought a 458 that's black on black. That car we might be picking up and taking on the Tail of the Dragon. So Josh might actually use that car on the Tail of the Dragon, depending if we get the 355 done in time or not. He would rather take the 355, but that might not get done. Basically, he would have to have the major done next week, which is entirely possible, but also not all that likely. We'll see how that goes. But let's edit some videos and I'll rejoin you in just a minute. All right, sitting there editing and our UPS guy swings by and drops off a new toy for us. We'll get it set up in a minute, but we bought a fuel injector tester and cleaner. So we kind of made this conscious decision that if we're going to start doing service stuff, we got to start buying some tools that are fortunately very expensive. So that thing's not cheap, but we figured, you know what? These are the kind of things that we need to just kind of have around. Something that we can start offering as a service is cleaning the fuel injectors, and frankly, it's just on some of these cars that have higher miles, it's probably just worth doing. So we will test that on my old Ferrari 430 that has 76,000 miles, and I believe those injectors are original. So those injectors have been working pretty hard and could use a little cleaning. They need a bath, they need a spa day to help this car run a little better. All right, YouTube, it's late in the day and I'm laughing because a couple days ago the shop only had 4 or 5 cars in here, and now let's see, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14 cars in here. Yeah, it's getting kind of full. So we just got this in. This is a client's car. It was converted by another company. He had some issues, sent it back to them. They fixed it. He had issues again, and they're claiming that he needs a transmission rebuild, that the synchros are bad. The car has 8,000 miles on it. I'm gonna say the synchros are fine. He emailed us and said, hey, what's your opinion on this? I gave my opinion. He asked if maybe we could take a look at it, so he shipped it here. We're gonna take a look at it probably tomorrow. It's wonky. I went into reverse to get it back here. When I put it into reverse, it went into second. I put it into first, it went into third. So I stalled it, challenged it, and then eventually I got it to reverse. I had to like throw it all the way over to fifth, slam it back and forth a few times, jam it into reverse, and it did go in reverse, but even then I could hear it kind of grinding, so like the synchros are kind of making some noise. So it is definitely not adjusted correctly at a minimum. I don't know what else is wrong. We'll find out. So we'll play with that thing probably tomorrow. But that's it. Thursday. So go check out the Thursday Night Live, 8 p.m. Central every Thursday. Join us, ask questions, all that stuff. I guess that's it for today. So we'll see you tomorrow morning.
The next day.
Well, YouTube, it's Friday, and we're finally getting that lift installed. Already 2 parts are broken. The little cart thing for it, I'll show you later once it's done. And the button for the power unit to run the pump was smashed. That's how it is. Well, we'll have that installed in a little bit. So we had to put the gray 430 back in the lift because they're coming out to swap out that leaking seal. Hopefully we'll get that fixed today, and then we can send it back to the owner because that would be great. I'm still waiting on some studs to come in. So he's got new windscreens for the convertible top, and the bolts for those, when we unscrewed them, the bolts stripped themselves out, which was awesome. A 2-minute job turns into a 1-hour job instantaneously by stripping out some bolts. Then we're going to check out this car. This is the converted car. Nope, that's the converted car. Sorry, the Spider. We got a lot of red Ferraris right now. Finding which key goes to which car actually can be a chore. All right, YouTube, we're moving around a bunch of cars, trying to get stuff situated so we can continue working. The new lift is in. Hooray! So now we have 3 lifts. Yay! Yeah, we gotta just shuffle. This car still needs another part. So we thought we had it fixed, did not have it fixed. All right, YouTube, I want to talk about this 430 right here that Josh and I are working on. This car was converted by another company that we're not going to discuss who. Person who owns it emailed us and said they've had it back and forth to that company more than one time. It's had to have the shift cables replaced once already. And then they shipped it out to him and it was never quite right, and it stopped going into like 5th gear and some other stuff. Fifth and first reached out to us and said, what can you guys do? And so we gave them options and they shipped it out here. And we just pulled off the bottom panels and stuff and looked at the adjustment, and it's so far out of adjustment that we're having to disassemble the shift box so that we can get to the shift cable on the shift box, because we ran out of slack on the rear adjustments. So it was that far out of whack on the adjustments. Also, just kind of a side note, it's interesting to see different companies and their different designs. We're not used to this particular company stuff, so I'm not sure if it's better or worse yet. So far I'm going to go with worse. but we haven't driven it, so we're going to hopefully be able to get this adjusted. The company that did the conversion wanted him to send the car back and have the transmission completely rebuilt. Said that the synchros were out. Problem with that is it was still going in gear. So when it goes into gear, that's not a synchro issue. Also, the other problem is it's only got 8,000 something miles on it, and these 430 transmissions are pretty robust. So having it go out after only 8,000 miles seems really, really unlikely. We're gonna do our best to try and fix it. We'll let you know. Hopefully we'll have some progress on it shortly. All right, I'd like to introduce you to our new toy, our launch injector cleaner and tester. So, oh, hear it?
Very cool.
So we're cleaning those injectors and then we're gonna test them and make sure that they're working right. So these are out of my old 430. We'll see if this thing works pretty cool. It's pretty cool so far, but you can actually see the dirt like coming off of the ejectors. It's kind of gross. Ooh, neat stuff going on here.
It's like a lab over here.
It is. This is cool as hell. Well, we're testing everything, seeing if they work right. Well, YouTube, thus concludes another week. It's Friday. We're gonna go home. Still cleaning the injectors. We'll try and work on this a little bit more on Monday, so we'll see if we fixed it. Maybe cleaned up the idle a little bit. It's popping a little bit here and there. It's kind of rough, so it's weird. More stuff coming in this video, so stay tuned and we'll see you Monday.
Eventually.
Good morning, YouTube. It's Monday, and this week is going to be nuts.
Nuts!
Next week, a week from today, we are driving all the way up to Tennessee and North Carolina to go drive the Tail of the Dragon. A big group of us, like 26 cars, I think now. Yikes. So we're probably gonna be split up into multiple groups. But anyway, I've been talking about this on our live stream, so if you haven't seen our live streams, check it out every Thursday night at 8 p.m. Central. So we've tried doing tours in the past where it was an organized thing, and I tried to set up routes and arrange hotels and basically make it like an all-inclusive vacation. And it turned out that that's a lot of work, and we didn't make any money, and it was very stressful. So we stopped doing that, and no more tours, no more organized tours. But what I did say is I will basically tell you a date and a hotel, and you book your own stuff. So that's what we did. We arranged where we are going to a hotel from this date to this date, May 5th to May 9th, and everyone can book their own hotels or whatever. And the only thing I'm doing is setting up a WhatsApp group for everyone to communicate with. That's it. I'm not organizing any drives. I'm not telling people what to do. They can figure it out on their own. And that is far, far less stress for me. So I can actually go out there and have a good time and not worry about making sure everyone's happy. So that's what we're doing, which means we gotta get a lot of stuff done here in the shop before we go, including I gotta get my GT40 in here because I wanna change the oil and make sure that it's all set because, well, we're gonna be driving pretty hard. That's from the Tail of the Dragon, if you didn't know. So that is what we're gonna be doing. Hopefully less rain this time. Last time we did it, it was basically raining the whole time, and that made it a little bit less enjoyable, admittedly. And that GT40 is challenging to drive, let alone challenging in the rain. And then you're on the Dragon, so that makes it really extra challenging. What do we gotta do this week? Well, this car is a client's car, and as you saw, gotta do some adjustments. We did some adjustments. We think we might have it fixed. So I need to take it out for a test drive this morning. That's what we're gonna do. Hopefully it's gonna be all set. I really, really, really hope we can get that thing taken care of. Josh is still working on his 355. We got my old 430. We got the fuel injectors out. We cleaned them and ran them, and we'll put them back in. I don't know if that's gonna do it. I feel like it might be something else. I'm starting to think maybe it's a vacuum leak. That might be what's going on because it's got totally different fuel ratios, the AFRs on the two halves of the engine. So what we're gonna do is put those injectors back in, and if it's still doing pops and bangs at idle and having a wonky idle, we're gonna spray some brake clean around all the intake ports and all the injectors and see if maybe that's what's going on. This car, so got a deal on it. Paperwork just needs to be done this morning, get some stuff signed, and then it's his. Again, another client's car, just waiting on a new seal from Makina. And we got to install these little wind screens. He sent us these things. So not usually a pain in the butt, but these ones are being a little bit challenging. I don't know why. Scott's car, my buddy's car, gonna have to pull the transmission on it soon, figure out why it's leaking oil. The Project 360, yeah, that thing's gonna take a while. Hopefully can get this one done and wrapped up in the next day or two. Just waiting on the intake manifold to come back from paint. We do have the Disserator painted, so check this out. Josh painted this and it looks amazing. It's got all the proper crinkle coat and everything. Look at that. Looks awesome. Oh, yeah, we're getting ready for the Dragon, so I'm charging up all the walkie-talkies. And we still have the other 360 that we bought, getting that cleaned up. We're going to be doing a belt service on it very soon. Just waiting on the parts. 458 waiting for parts. 488 waiting for the turbos to come back from being rebuilt. And the Testarossa, we decided, even though it hasn't had the major and stuff, it's been here too long. We're going to start taking pictures and list it without the major. We can work in a deal to get a major done if someone wants it. So I guess I need to sit down and do some paperwork and stuff because I want to get that car signed for and sold. Already all caught up on paperwork. I need to get that 430 out on the road, make sure it's shifting all right. We adjusted cables on Friday, but didn't have time to run it. Josh just got in here and we're running a injector test over there. You can hear it clicking away. We think the injectors are okay, so we're gonna put them back in the 430. And like I said, I think it might be a vacuum leak, so we'll spray some brake clean around like the intake ports. And if the RPMs change when you do that, then that's where you got a leak. So we'll try and get that sorted. I think those are kind of like the two big things we want to work on today. Sent out the paperwork on this car, so just waiting to hear back from him. I don't know if I mentioned it, we have a pending deal on the yellow 360 as well. Just got to get that wrapped up. Hopefully I can get the intake manifold back today or tomorrow, and then it'll be done. It's basically all it needs. So it's very, very close. So two things. One, I'm sitting here, and we knew we had to do the headliner on this 360. Well, Josh is like, hey, we really got to do the headliner on this. I'm like, I know. And he's like, no, look. And it fell down over the weekend. Great. So, yeah, we definitely got to do the headliner now. And we also have to do the headliner on my old 430. So we're working on this 430 that's got the on it. And it's really weird. Every time I adjust the shift cables, so if I go shift it, it's the left-right adjustment that's the problem. If I shift it to the left, it goes into first through fifth easier, but then sometimes it won't go to sixth. If I shift it to the right, it'll go into sixth, but then it won't go into first and fifth. It like has trouble. It's really weird. It's like the geometry's off just a tiny bit or something. I don't know if we're gonna be able to get this one. Our recommendation might have to be to replace it with super frustrating.
2 hours later.
All right, YouTube. Josh and I have been monkeying around with this car all morning. I swear to God, there is just slop in the shift linkage and in the shift arms. Every time we set it up and it's fine, then we'll try and drive it or whatever, and it just wonks out, and then it's fine again, and then it's wonked out. So it's really inconsistent, and it makes it impossible to adjust it. So we got it as best we can. It's now working in pretty much every gear except sometimes it is unhappy in fifth. And sometimes when you go to reverse, it then doesn't want to go into first after that unless you move it around. So anyway, we talked to Makina, and they offered to kind of do a serious deal with us and basically swap out all the parts and put in their parts near cost. Basically no labor. So we offered that to the guy. We'll see what he wants to do. But as of this point, we're basically done trying to fix it. We could spend all week on it, and I don't think we'll ever get it perfect. It's just not going to happen. Given the hardware that's on the car, it's as good as it's going to get. So we're going to put back on the bottom panels and stuff and call this one good. We're just waiting for the guy to get back to us and let us know what he wants to do with it. So, onward to the next project. Now we're just waiting on that seal. I need to button up the bottom tray and get that other 430. So it's basically as good as we're gonna get on that thing. And now I can work on the 430, my old 430, and I guess probably start putting the yellow 360 back together. Yay. All right, YouTube. So we cleaned out the injectors, put them back in, and it still was having a little bit of a rough idle, although admittedly it improved, but it's still a little bit rough. So we took a can of brake clean, sprayed it on the intake manifold where it meets the heads. All Alright, we definitely have a vacuum leak. Check this out. Oh yeah, it does not like that. Dang it. Number 4 cylinder intake runner gasket is toast. What we think happened is the valve cover was probably leaking so severely it just saturated the intake gasket and it probably degraded. So we're gonna replace all the intake gaskets. Yeah. It's gonna be a pain in the ass. All right, just did the test run for the new lift, changed out the engine mounts on this 360 that I've been working on. This thing's nice. I am really pleased with this lift. It worked out really well. It's quiet compared to that lift over there. That lift's a lot faster. Like, this thing's very slow. That thing is really quick. I think Josh is getting close to having the engine come down.
Just about. I gotta just undo the AC compressor and the power steering lines, and it's unbolt the everything else, and yeah.
And out she comes. Oh boy. So now I gotta get the interior back in that car. I gotta get the bottom panels on, and I'm just waiting for the intake manifold. And Alan has been breathing gas fumes all day. Poor Alan.
It's a good thing I don't have a sense of smell.
Right.
I'm okay.
He's been getting high doing fuel pumps on this car. This car.
Do you smell the fuel at all?
No, nothing.
Yeah, this fuel pump completely saturated. Look at that. Yeah, this thing was in bad shape. The other one was cracked too. Stuff's getting done. I like this. All right, today was a lot of wrenching. Today was just a wrenching day. So 360 is coming along, still waiting to hear back from powder coating to get that intake manifold. Oh God, I still haven't emailed this dude. I need to email him real quick before I leave today. So we just gotta wait for him to make a decision if we're gonna send it out to get the parts replaced or not. It is drivable and mostly works, but honestly, we've driven enough of these converted cars to know that it doesn't feel good. It's not good. It doesn't feel like it should. Josh has only 1 or 2 more things to disconnect, and we're gonna pull the engine out tomorrow. So that's gonna be awesome. And fuel pumps are basically done. We have tools that have absconded themselves onto the bottom tray. So that's always fun to try and get off. But I guess that's it for today. So we're gonna see you guys tomorrow.
Tomorrow.
Good morning, YouTube. It's now Tuesday, and okay, we gotta get situated for the day. So yellow 360, got the engine mounts replaced. I think it's time to put back on the bottom panels, put the interior back in this thing, so I'd like to get that done today. We're still waiting on the intake manifold to come back from getting powder coated. Hopefully we'll have that today. I also saw tracking numbers. We got a bunch of parts coming in today and tomorrow and the next day. So we gotta start on the major on the red 360 over there. Scott's car we're kind of still pausing on for just a little bit longer. We've got this car buttoning back up. I don't know if it's gonna go over to Makina or not. It sounds like it might. Mild 430. So we found that intake manifold leak, ordered the parts for it, so we might pull the intake manifold on that today. We should have those parts later this week, so we might have that car back to proper running condition, which would be great. The other 430 did the fuel pumps yesterday. Just waiting on that deal to solidify, and then it's gonna probably go out and get converted and have a couple other things done to it. And this car just waiting on the shift box seal. But the big news of the day is Josh is gonna probably pull the engine out of his 355 today. Oh yeah, it's gonna be cool. We'll do that later today. That's kind of it for the moment. Lots of wrenching, and we're gonna turn on music, so I'm not gonna film anything. So can't get demonetized. All right. So stay tuned. All right, YouTube, it's about noon. Had to move around the cars. So yellow car's off the lift. Gonna add oil. Still waiting on the intake manifold. Did get a Capristo exhaust for, okay, you guys probably don't remember, but way back in the day, our friend Carrie bought a Murcielago, and it was gonna get a major and all this stuff, and now it's being converted. Well, there's the Capristo exhaust for it. That's like a $20,000 exhaust. It finally came in. That thing is awesome. Capristo hooked us up. They're actually partnering with us on that. We cannot wait to hear that. It's gonna sound just insane. Waiting on Makina to tell us about that seal. Still haven't heard back from them. So the nice 360, we are gonna start, well, we're already started on the major. We're gonna start really going at it on the major, getting that car set up so it'll be done. Still waiting on some parts and stuff to arrive. So it's kind of a bit of do what you can while you can. All right, YouTube, Josh is going to remove the engine out of this Ferrari 355 But first, a word from our sponsors, NG Supercars. Do you like Ferraris? Well, I like Ferraris. I like them so much that I quit my job, making a lot of money as a software engineer, to become a used car salesman. Yes, that's right. I own NG Supercars, and behind me are some amazing supercars that we sell and you can have today. So once your Ferrari never really breaks, because believe me, this one's broken, that one's broken, that one's broken, that one's broken, and that one's broken, and that one's about to be broken, you can bring it to us and we will service it. We could do stuff like timing belts, because let's be real, when your Ferrari breaks, because they all break, you can bring it to us and we'll get it fixed up, whether it's an oil change or other services like a manual conversion. Yes, that's right, we can get rid of that pesky F1 system and turn it into a glorious manual transmission. We also offer extensive detailing services where we can take neglected cars like this one and we can restore it to its full glory, like this 1987 Ferrari Testarossa. We also can sell you an aftermarket exhaust to take your boring Ferrari factory exhaust and make it sound glorious like an F1 car, such as this Klein Inconel exhaust. So come on down to Liberty Hill and you can see our Supercar Superstore at NG Supercars. All right, YouTube. That was the commercial from these high school guys that reached out to us. They wanted to make a school project. They had to make a commercial for a business. Why not? That was pretty cool. Thanks, guys. It kicked ass. I love the commercial. I think it's hilarious. Hopefully, you guys like it too. If you do like it, it's actually on the web or on the YouTube channel. You can just watch the commercial anytime. Yeah, tell your friends to watch our really cheesy commercial. We are going to remove this engine in just a minute here. He's removing the last few bolts, and then we start holding on to our butts.
Hold on to your butts.
Theoretically, all the subframe bolts are disconnected.
I have to feed the wiring loom through the firewall.
So as you bump it up, you have to push them through.
So I'll probably go inside, or somebody will go inside and somebody will spot.
Yeah,
we'll
you
probably
bump
get
it.
Alan over here too, just so there's...
Yeah, the more eyes, the merrier.
Right, we don't want anything to get snagged or hung up or anything. There is one coolant line in the back that is still attached.
Yeah, but the clamps are done.
But when it goes down, it should pull it off of this.
Yep, I remember that.
Other than that, I think we're good.
It's go time.
That's it! It's go time! All right, take it.
We have two. Engine and trans are out, subframe's out, and one giant hole in this car. Pretty cool, huh?
It is pretty cool.
I mean, as much as it's a pain in the ass, they did design it reasonably well to be able to do this.
Okay, take this wiring harness and make a plug.
Yeah.
And just make it a plug, easy disconnect.
Yeah, one big plug right there on the firewall.
And make the coolant lines maybe a little higher and flat right here, so we're not like reaching down in here to undo those.
Yeah.
Other than that, not too bad.
Not too bad. All right. Well, now comes the really fun part.
Yeah.
All right. So Alan got the intake manifold off, and I thought you'd like to see this. You know, I had a little bit of a exhaust or an intake manifold leak, a vacuum leak. Look at that. The gasket is straight up gone. It just disappeared. There is no gasket at all right here. Well, there's your problem.
There's your problem.
Well, YouTube, I guess that kind of concludes Tuesday. Whew, we got a lot of stuff done today. Engine is out, diagnosed, and progress on the old 430. Started going on the time belt service on that car. Waiting on a deal on this car. Bunch of stuff happening. So I guess stay tuned. Tomorrow we'll probably have a lot more stuff going on. So it's gonna be another busy one. We'll see you tomorrow.
Tomorrow for sure.
Well, good morning, YouTube. It's Wednesday, which is normally auction day, and I just browsed the auctions and there's nothing. There's just, yeah, oh well. There's only like 2 Dodge Vipers, and neither of them are really that interesting, and 0 Ferraris, and 0 other kind of cool cars of interest. So we're just gonna kind of skip, I guess. Well, we need to keep wrenching on some stuff, so looks like Alan got somewhere on the old 430, got the valve covers off, so we're gonna clean those up and send them out to get powder coated, repainted and stuff. That disc radiator is looking pretty bad as well, so maybe we'll pop that off and fix that. Anyway, we're just kind of cleaning up this thing since it needs it desperately. But also, I think I brought in the welder. We'll fix that annoying rattle. I don't know, we gotta do a lot of stuff, so let me get situated and then we'll wrench on stuff. I think this might take the record for the dirtiest valve cover ever, so yeah. Look at that dirt coming off. It's gnarly. Ew. Alright, YouTube, so I spent the last 2 hours or so just cleaning the hell out of that intake manifold. Took it all apart, cleaned all the intake runners, disassembled everything, put it in the parts washer, scrubbed it down, whatever. It looks pretty darn good. There's really no flaking of paint, so I'm not going to send that out to get repainted. But the valve covers, yeah, they've seen better days, so look at pretty terrible condition. So I think I'll send those out to get repainted, which should take about a week. But that's fine because I don't have the valve cover gaskets anyway, so I'm waiting for the gaskets for those and the intake manifold before I can put this car back together. So it'll probably be, well, it will be after we get back from the tour, or the Dragon. I guess that means I probably will take out the disc radiator and send that in to get painted as well, or we'll do it ourselves or something. Moving on to other cars, I guess I'm gonna put together this yellow 360's interior, because again, we're just waiting on the intake manifold, which I did call the paint place and they said they'll probably have it today, but it'll be like late today, so probably won't get this done until tomorrow, which is a bummer. But I can get the interior back together and have basically everything done, just waiting on the intake, and then it's ready to rock and roll as soon as that gets here. Hooray, my parts arrived. So I got new gaskets and all the other stuff I need to kind of finish up some of the stuff I'm working on. So that means now I just need the intake to come back from getting painted, and this car is done. So for sure now I need to put in the interior. So yeah, let's just button up everything except the intake. All right, interior is back in. So literally the only thing left now is the intake manifold, which hopefully will be in a few hours, and then this thing will be back in business. Oh yeah, side panels. All right, so that 430 that was converted, we are actually taking over to Makina. Makina is going to replace all the garbage with good hardware so it actually is drivable. And we're gonna take the Capristo exhaust for the Murcielago. Go drop all that shit off at Makina. We'll be back in a little bit. Gotta run some errands. All right, YouTube, so we went to Makina, dropped off that red 430 Spider. They're gonna replace the parts. Then we went to lunch and just had some good talks about the car world right now. Anyway, so the day kind of got by us, but I know I said we didn't want to sell this car, but someone's being very persistent and wants to buy it, but they said they want to have a compression test done first. So we're gonna do a compression test on this 360, the Barn Find 360, and these plugs look pretty gross. Oh yeah, and they got a lot of oil on them too. We're gonna crank it over and see if we have decent compression on this thing. Cylinder number 2, first one was at 200. Yep, 200 on the spot. Well, no surprise, all the cylinders have between 185, 190, and 200 PSI, all well within 10%. Nice, good compression on it. Of course, I'm really not shocked at all by that. Like, these engines are really pretty damn solid. The only things that really ever seemed to go wrong with some of the engines was like the valve guides on the 355. That was a problem. And there's a few other things that happen to these cars, but really they're pretty damn good engines. Anyway, we're trying to wrap up some more deals. We've got deal paperwork out for a few cars and stuff, just waiting for people to come and commit and sign and whatever, and pay. Trying to get more things wrapped up before we leave for the Dragon next week, but that's it for today, so we'll see you tomorrow. And tomorrow's Thursday, which means we'll be doing our Thursday Night Live tomorrow night. So join us at 8 p.m. Central. Well, YouTube, it's Thursday. That means it is the conclusion of another week in the life of running our small dealership, NG Supercars. So thank you so much for joining us. We still got a lot of stuff going on. Stay tuned, like, share, and subscribe. We do appreciate all of that. Helps out this channel. Next week is going to be an interesting week because we are going to the Tail of the Dragon for the majority of the week. So we're gone Monday through Friday of next week. I'm going to try and figure out how to make that video work. Who knows? I might have to do some editing on the road kind of thing. But we'll be heading out Monday super early and then driving the Dragon and doing other cool roads around there. I need to go get the intake manifold for this car, and that'll be in the next video, so we'll finally be able to button up this car today. Hopefully get a few other things wrapped up. So if everything goes right, yeah, a couple of these cars should be leaving the shop in the next day or two. We're getting another car coming in. Ferrari 458 black on black should be here today, if everything goes right. So appreciate it. Go to normalguyssupercar.com and NG Supercars, our websites, and of course, we'll see you in the next video. We're going to be doing a lot of cool car stuff. You're going to want to stay tuned. It's going to be sweet.